Craig Cameron, gloves red, delighted to be joined by Craig Dickson. Craig, how are you getting on, okay?
Very well, thanks, yes. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. It's great to be in here. Last time we were standing in this very spot doing an interview. Probably a couple of years ago now, eh?
I would have been about 2 years. It would have been probably Cash's last defence, or was it either the shot against Lee McGregor or the last title defence of the British, I think it was. So, and a lot's happened since then, obviously.
It has. So first of all, listen, thanks for letting me come in, see the guys train and interview you both. So we're not far away. It's next Saturday. Kash is back in the ring against Louis Castillo, a Mexican. How's his preparations going?
It's going really, really well. It's funny, in the lead up to a fight, you're always thinking it's ages away, and all of a sudden, here we are. It's only a week away, more or less. But his preparations went very well. We've not had any hiccups. Sometimes you get the odd injury or things like that. So it's went well. We've had all the sparring. Really took good doing sparring, travelling down south to get it. On the road stuff, which is good experience. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good fight because as we've seen, these South Americans normally come with a tough chin. So
so one of the things I was going to talk to you about as well is just in that lead up to fight week, I suppose. How do you keep Kash relaxed? And I know for fighters it's typically they're maybe not in the best of moods, or cutting weight, or training, etc.
I normally probably just annoy him, to be honest. You probably just break the routine with some carry on or jokes. I'll be honest, it can be that. I know he gets wound up sometimes, but I think that it's good. It breaks his concentration. He gets so so focused on his fight. Sometimes you need to break his mindset and sort of carry on, a bit of laugh and have a bit of joke and things like that, and a bit of carry on. I'm not the funniest, but I try and just break up his mindset. Just try and entertain him a bit.
So we're talking on, I'll ask that question again. So in regards to sparring, is that challenging for you, Craig, just in Scotland? Because I see you guys go down south quite a lot, or is that just part of Cash's development and your other fighters as well, just seeing different styles, etc.?
It's definitely, it's more the latter, what you're saying. Everybody's like to do a bit of both. So normally what I do is a session with somebody for up here, like during the week, and then the second session we'll go down south, and it is purely just because definitely different styles in some of the gyms. And seeing you go down to Manchester and Liverpool, up here you're lucky if there's maybe one or two full-time gyms. Seeing you go down there, there's a full-time gym in every corner, and they've all got a group of pros. So like I said on Red Triangle, we've all got 2 or 3 boys running at his weight, and they're all high-level pros, some like former ABA champions and that. So taking them down there, puts him under a bit of pressure, all that travelling, and he goes in and he has to perform, against these guys who are really hungry, because I'm taking Kash Root, the former British champion. He's a bit of a name, so you can't beat that experience and the variation of styles, because sometimes you just don't know what you're going up against. And you can watch guys in tape all you want, but the more variation of styles and the challenges I put him against, the more experiences, the better it gets.
Yeah, of course. And something you touched on again there in regards to getting tapes and footage. Cash's last 3 opponents have all been from South America. I'd imagine it's quite challenging trying to get any sort of footage or tape. So how do you prepare Kash specifically for that? Because I'd imagine with previous opponents that are maybe British based, it's easier to have a look at previous fights I've had and come up with a game plan.
Definitely. To be honest, I've been quite lucky. I realised the Mexican, the first bubble, there was a wee bit of footage about him, so I managed see if just when I get 3 or 4 minutes, a couple of rounds, sometimes enough just to get an idea of his style and try and pick up a few bits. But again, you're not getting to see fights, but Espinosa, I managed to get a few of him. There was one, I think he fought in Russia or something. He fought a Russian, and that was like a good 10-round fight. So I managed to get wee bits. It's hard. Just try and pick up what you can, and then you try and do what you just keep working on what Kash is good at. You try and focus on a plan, but you give a few ideas of if he goes forward, do this. If he sits tight, or if he counter punches. So we've got a few plans for depending on what fighter turns up. Yeah,
and do you and Kash sit down together and analyse that kind of opponent, or is it just a case that Kash listens to your instructions in terms of this is what I'll work on?
We don't tend to sit down and watch it ourselves. What tends to happen, Kash will watch the fighter, I'll watch him, and then the two will come together and go, well, this is what I've seen, and then he'll say what he's seen. I'll go, right, well, this is what I think, and he'll say what he thinks, and then we agree. And as soon as we agree, that's set in stone, because that's the relationship between two. So he's agreed with what I want to be doing, and we go for there.
Yeah, and Kash is receiving so many plaudits from kind of top fighters in the game, past and present, and naturally that kind of matchroom platform is helping that. What objective do you have? Because for me, Kash is fighting South American fighters that are reasonably unknown to us over here, but tough fighters, and we've seen how many slip-ups have happened with the matchroom stable. So for you, have you got like an objective maybe after this? I know we don't want to look ahead of the fight next Saturday, but have you got a kind of game plan for Kash over the next maybe 12 months?
The objective is, to get him as far as I can, and as far as I can get is world title level and get him in that area, and that's where Matchroom want to get him. I think obviously, see when he lost, he never got the decision against Lee, so Lee's won that title, and the European title was with MTK, so it was an easy fight. So Kash has lost that opportunity, so he's moved to Matchroom. So we've not get that stepping stone. So normally what you do is Commonwealth, British, European, World Warriors and progress that way. So Kash and all the options. So what they've done is just match him against tough South Americans, entertaining fights, just to get. I think they've just really tested Kash, because I think Eddie Hearn only seen him against Lee and never really seen him against that. But I think these 3 fights was part of the deal. They've had a wee look at him and showed him, and I think after as long as he comes through this, they'll probably sit down. I think that's where they'll map, a way to push him towards a world title, eliminate a world title. I think to me that's the plan, and I think he's good enough to fight for a world title. That's, as I said, the European title's out the scene, and unless that fight comes about, if Lee doesn't get the world title shot as he was saying he would fancy that would be the next logical fight. If not, I expect Matchroom to try and push him to a world title.
Great. And finally, Craig, have you noticed a difference between Kash fighting in front of fans and not fans? Because we're going to have fans back on Saturday. Do you see a difference in Kash when he's fought without fans? Do you think the fans help him?
They'll probably push that wee bit of extra adrenaline out of him, to be honest, but he's so focused on what he does anyway. It'll not make a huge difference in him, but I definitely think the roar of a crowd does give you that wee extra boost. So you maybe see something special from him, something different. He'll maybe do a certain move like he's done in previous fights. I just think without the crowd, it doesn't give you that extra adrenaline sometimes to push on. So hopefully this guy's a good fit for his style, and we see some good moves off of Kash.
Great. No, Craig, listen, thanks so much for your time and again for letting us come in. Really appreciate it, and all the best for next Saturday.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Cheers.